The first point I want to illustrate here is that we are past the point now of general health, and we're really using a technique that will provide us with the best ability to move the maximal amount of weight. So this is no longer about just general health and strength. We're really trying to take advantage of levers and set ourselves up in a way that maybe not the healthiest biomechanically, but it's going to allow us to move the most weight. So what I'm going to go over is just some basic tenets that, while maybe individualized, will apply to most bench presses in terms of really maximizing the amount of load you can use. So the first thing is the setup. So we're going to allow quite a bit of an arch here, as much as you can get, really, because we're trying to limit the range of motion as much as possible. So we're driving the feet into the ground. Glutes should be tight, quads should be tight, almost thinking about trying to push your feet out of your shoes if you were wearing shoes, and pushing yourselves into the rack to get set up. And there's a bunch of different ways you can set it up, but basically the goal is to limit the range of motion by creating an arch. From here, one of the most difficult things is learning how to use your lats to set up. So it's this idea of putting the shoulder blades into the back pockets. And as you do that, you should feel your upper back activate. You should feel even into your lower traps kicking on, and that's going to lift the chest up. So you're almost thinking about lifting the chest up into the bar, not just bringing the bar down to you, but pulling yourself towards the bar and creating a ton of tension. This should be exhausting even without any weight. So again, we're not just moving the elbows and twisting the wrists around, we're setting from the upper back and then pulling that bar down in position. If this is a new technique for you, I would definitely recommend just taking a lot of time with the bar and really practicing getting that down, because it makes a huge difference, but it is a very technical strategy to use. The next thing I want to address is the bar path. So you can see that the bar is coming down and forward a little bit, and then I'm pressing up and back. So it's not a completely linear path. I'm bringing it down pretty low on my chest, almost to the bottom of the sternum, and that will be somewhat individual for the person. But in general, we want to see that it's not a straight up, and certainly not straight and forward up. We want to be going up and back. The last thing I want to address is the concept of leg drive. So as we already talked about in the beginning, during the setup, your legs should be pretty tight here. Your glutes should be on. You should be really pushing into the floor with the feet. Now, as you initiate that motion up with the bar, we want to think about pushing into the bench with the upper back. So I'm using the feet to drive into the bench, essentially, almost like I was trying to push the bench backwards. You don't want to lift your butt off the bench. You'll see a lot of people do that when they try to initiate with the legs, as the butt comes up, but that would indicate that they're not really pushing in the right direction. As we stated with the bar path, we want the bar to go up and back. So we want to be pushing in a way with the feet that supports that. So just keep in mind, this is a really complicated exercise. There's a lot of separate techniques involved within this technique. So take your time, break it into pieces, work on each one at a time, and slowly piece it together. It is a skill, and there's a lot to learn.